Imagine a ship. Found adrift on the open ocean. Its sails set. Cargo intact. But not a soul on board. A ghost ship. This is the story of the Mary Celeste. A maritime mystery that has baffled sailors and historians for over a century. The year is 1872. The day Gracia, a British brigantine, spots a vessel drifting aimlessly between the Azores Islands and Portugal. Approaching cautiously, the crew makes a shocking discovery. It is the Mary Celeste, an American merchant ship that had set sail from New York City just weeks before, bound for Genoa, Italy. But something is terribly wrong. A search of the Mary Celeste reveals a bizarre scene. The ship is seaworthy, but partially waterlogged. The sails are damaged, but set. The cargo of over 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol is untouched. But the ship's lifeboat is missing. So is Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife, their young daughter, and the entire crew of 7. And the ship itself, though still very sturdy, has signs of abandon. What happened? Captain Briggs was a seasoned sailor with an impeccable reputation for competence and caution. His cabin contained his personal effects, navigation equipment, and the ship's logbook. The last entry was dated 10 days prior, reporting their position about 400 nautical miles from the Azores. A man that competent wouldn't just leave. The ship log itself didn't hold much, no reports of bad weather, threats of mutiny, or anything of the sort. All there was reports of the journey and goodwill. One odd detail though, the last log made was very brief, nothing too significant. The crew's personal belongings were still on board, undisturbed. A half-finished sewing project, food untouched. The last lunch was half-eaten. What took the crew and captain off board? What happened to the Mary Celeste? Over the years countless theories have emerged, each attempting to explain this baffling maritime enigma. The most common explanations involve mutiny, piracy, a sudden storm, or even a giant waterspout that forced the crew to abandon ship in haste. Each theory sounds more plausible than the last, so let's unpack them. If mutiny were to take place, what would they abandon the ship? Wouldn't it make more sense to just take the cargo and steer the ship to new lands? Unless, that is, the mutineers were from another ship, or they were taken in by another ship. The day Gracia has been floated as a suspect in other theories, though those have been disproven with time. What about a storm? Was the storm so sudden that the captain said everyone on board and leave? The storm must have been so intense for him to make that call and the crew be on board for it. But they found the crew and captain never set sail again. What happened to them? Why were they abandoned in the middle of the Atlantic? Likewise with piracy, unless it had to do with bad weather? Was there a pirate crew coming after them but a storm came first? And the pirates came after the crew had already left? This is a huge stretch but is something to account for in that equation. But what would the pirates do with all the alcohol? Sell them? Use them for themselves? We might never know. Of course, the supernatural has its own theories too. From giant squids to leviathans, to sea serpents taking the crew. A giant squid is a fun theory since it's an unknown entity that we didn't know much about at that time. Sea serpents aren't necessarily scary, just very big. But the crew wouldn't just abandon ship due to that. What caused it? Some attribute the loss of crew to the paranormal force that makes ships lost within the Bermuda Triangle. The stories are endless but the theories aren't always based on reality. The ship isn't in the Bermuda Triangle but it's very close. That may have factored into it if the theory is valid, but there are plenty more. Then there's the theory that it was an insurance fraud. If Captain Briggs planned this, then why are his personal belongings there? Why his family? Also, why the heck would you plan this? Too many questions to make it true. But there's still other questions to answer, like, if there was a ghost, why has this never happened on that ship before and will it ever happen again? If it's a giant sea monster, what was the crew doing to make that happen? But the truth remains elusive. The fate of Captain Briggs' family and his crew is a mystery swallowed by the vastness of the ocean. The Mary Celeste forever remains a ghost ship sailing the seas of imagination and reminding us that some mysteries may never be solved. With the crew and captain never found, it makes this a truly mysterious event. The ship's journey and crew is forever remembered. What do you think happened? Be sure to like and subscribe for more cosmic adventures.